Hello everybody. How are we doing? My name is Charles Barton, otherwise known as Viridian in the Discord, and I'm the Achroma Community Coordinator here at Realm Studios. And welcome to today's Achroma Weekly News stream on the 12th of February 2023. How are we all doing? So welcome in so far those in the chat. If you are here, make sure to come and say hello to us in the chat so we know you're watching and we can engage with the community. So welcome in Sarah, welcome in Daniel, welcome in Ida, welcome in Joe. Good to see you all. So we always like to start with a bit of a question on these streams, and the question that was on the stream this morning for the last few minutes, I'm not with it today, I've had a long weekend, was what is your most powerful 2-card combo? Welcome in Warrior, how you doing? Good to see you. Feel free to keep answering the question if you hadn't already answered. So Sarah said Splat Square and Blueprint Swirl. Yeah, very, very strong combo. I mean, what you're spending a total of, 7 shards to gain naturally 8 back, plus maybe a Splat as well if you've got some more. So yeah, very, very good. And we had Dexter and Materno from Daniel. Yeah, personally one of my favorites too, especially under the new protection rules where they protect each other. It's just brilliant. Obviously there is ways to counter it, but it's such a fun combo to pull off. Idol welcome in says, yeah, Chiefess Astrid of Lakringi with Civ of Lakringi, where you get again a +6 resolve after spending 9, and on top of that you've got 2 very, very powerful characters with what, a total of 5 shield wall at that point, am I right in saying? Or no, 2 shield wall. Either way, shield wall as well. So yeah, very, very powerful combo. Fantastic. Welcome in Wolf, good to see you here today as well. Welcome in Lisa, hey everyone. Yes, 4 shield wall, that's it. So yeah, very, very strong. Welcome in Heron. Huxton with Chief Detective Cronus. Oh yes, absolutely. Cronus and Huxton, and suddenly you've got what? +6 from Cronus and +4 from Huxton, and that's just them 2 alone. So you're getting 10 shards for what is playing 9 shards, and that's only if those are on your canvas. Otherwise it'd be more, yeah. Very crazy as well. You did do that too. Yeah. But no, very good combos. Me, myself, I'm on my list. Dexter Materno is definitely my top one, so I agree with Daniel. Otherwise, I really like Murky Mana into a Cultist Den to then be able to dig for things like Otrix or Isadora, but I think we've all seen that one been played a few times as well. But yes, welcome into the stream, everybody. So as per usual, the schedule you can see is to my right on screen. So we're going to start with some Achroma news, of which we've got a lot, because a lot has happened this week, so I want to make sure everybody is up to date. We're then going to talk about some of the upcoming events, for those who didn't know what's coming in our calendar. We've then got a very special sneak peek. So now in the store yesterday, we showed to those that came into the store all of the new Realm Runners and Realm Relics. We did also give an opportunity for those in Discord to see. We're going to be showing them all on stream today. So if you haven't seen the Realm Runners and Realm Relics yet, you're about to see them on stream today. And we're going to have a discussion about them. And yeah, it's going to be fun. And then we've got a community showcase as usual, where we're going to be showing off some of the fan art, some of the deck builds, and things that have been happening in the Achroma community to shine some light on you guys. What else we got in the chat? So Huxton's naturally a +2 resolve, so +1 for Cronus. Oh yeah, very true. Actually, yes, it was going to be a 9, but even still, it'd be pretty crazy. Wolf loves Murky Matter and Den. Yeah, it's crazy, right? Welcome in, David. Currently, my favorite is Knut and Trader's Lifeline. Yes, you used that on me the other day, and it was disgusting. Yeah, into another card that lets you trade and end with another trade at the end of turn. Yeah, Trader's decks can be insane, and I agree. I'm here for the chaos. Or Huxton and Mage's Elite Detective with Cronus. Yes, even more so. But yes, so let's get started straight away with the news then. So the first bit of news today is the obvious one, which is the Kickstarter. So the Kickstarter launched earlier this week on Tuesday evening, as I'd like to think most of you are well aware. However, if you are in the chat and you've not yet checked it out, all of the links that I'm about to mention are below stream. So the Kickstarter link is the first link down below if you haven't yet checked it out. But boy, oh boy, has it been incredible, folks. You've all been keeping up with the progress as well. That as it stands, we're currently up to about 17 grand and 600 pounds, which is almost double what we initially were, trying to get backed, which is absolutely incredible. So the core team would have my guts for garters if I didn't say a huge thank you to absolutely everybody that has backed so far. We are chuffed to bits with just the massive impact that you guys have had. Let's be honest, a lot of that is the current community members. So thank you to everybody. We're really pleased. And what this does mean is that everybody gets to be excited because we've met that goal, which means that when the Kickstarter ends at the end of the 30 days, all the things that we have, you've backed us for, we will make and get to you. So really, really exciting times ahead. And we're going to talk more about the Kickstarter as we go through. So firstly, I just want to highlight some of the changes that have happened. Oh, actually, before I mention anything else, let me just quickly mention this, that, I appreciate that when the Kickstarter first dropped on Tuesday, there was, I don't want to say confusion, because that was maybe the wrong word, but there was a lot of questions. You know, it was very overwhelming. Let's say that there was, you know, lots of different pledge levels, lots of new cards, lots of new formats to buy the old cards. There was lots going on, which is obviously fantastic that we've got all this going on. But it did mean that it did cause a lot of questions. So if there is anybody that does not yet understand something in the Kickstarter, now, of course, I'm going to recommend it because I made it, but if you haven't already, check out the latest YouTube video that we released, which has my face in the thumbnail. Wait, does it have my face in the thumbnail? No, it doesn't. But it's the one that's called Kickstarter Campaign Explained, and in that, I explain all of the Kickstarter in absolute detail with all of the realms, and by the end of that video, you should theoretically know everything you need to know. However, what I will say is that if you do have any questions about the Kickstarter, please don't hesitate to write them in chat today as we speak, and I'll happily answer as many questions as I can moving forward. So don't be afraid to ask, because I pretty much know all the information that we need to know at this point. And if I don't, I can ask one of the other core team members who are always around. So yes, make sure to check that out if you haven't already. So let's start by taking a bit of a look at the Kickstarter then. So yes, at the moment, we're up to 17,800, which is insane, from 94 backers. So I just want to highlight some of the changes that have happened. So if you haven't actually been on the website, I'd recommend having a re-look at the Kickstarter. Again, from feedback from you guys over the last few days, we have been making lots of changes to the Kickstarter in terms of the actual information that's on there to make sure that you guys can see clearly what you're getting. So I'm just going to do a quick scroll down. You can see we've added more images. We've added the how to play video there. I know that we've added a community. There's my Kickstarter video explained in there. We've added pictures. So for those who haven't seen, we've now got pictures of the playmats and the card boxes designs. And there's also a video here as well for the community testimonials. Thank you again to those that recorded that. So I definitely recommend going and having another look at the Kickstarter if you haven't already, to make sure that you check out all the changes and, you know, see if there's anything that's changed that would help you make your decision. But one of the big bits of news, let's be honest, is the fact that we've hit our stretch goals. So actually, if I just scroll back down again, because I haven't actually got an image for this. So thanks to how much you guys have raised so far, we have already hit 4 of the stretch goals, which is insane. Now, I didn't actually explain this in my video, so just to be very clear, what a stretch goal is in Kickstarter is if we overachieve what we were expecting, then you guys will get more goodies. So if you are unsure if you're going to get a stretch goal or not, all you have to do is look at your pledge tier. So for example, if we look at this pledge tier here, where it's pledged £18 or more, I appreciate it's very small on the screen, folks. I'll read it out. But can you see that under where it says what this includes, it says all unlocked stretch goals. So if you have pledged something and your pledge has that tick box, all unlocked stretch goals, then you are about to get everything I'm about to mention. So you will get early access to the Achroma adventure game when that does come out. So you get early access to it. You are all going to get a Kickstarter only promo card. So that'll come with your order. So that'll be a limited edition promo card. You are all going to get a set of the bespoke Achroma TTRPG dice, as pictured there. No, even if you haven't actually ordered the TTRPG, you're still going to get the dice. And the one that we literally unlocked and announced this morning was you also get alternative art. Now, I do just want to cover a little bit about what you will get with that art, because, you know, it's something that we've only just mentioned, and there might be questions. So whilst I talk about this, on the screen now is some of the concept alt art that has been released. Now, to be very clear, guys, this is concept. So the pictures you're looking at here are not necessarily the final designs you're going to see. We might not even end up printing those particular ones. Who knows? Just to be fair, it's all subject to change. But here's how the alt art cards work. So now that we've reached that stretch goal, every single Achroma palette that is ordered in the Kickstarter will contain 4 of those alt cards matching that Achroma palette. So if you buy the Achroma palette for the Magus Elite, you will get 4 alt cards that come from, you know, Curse of Curdle Hill and potentially even Magus Elite. So you're not going to get a Copper Joss in one of those sort of thing. Now, here's the other key thing. Is if any of you out there have pledged for the Rise of the Realm Runners full expansion, the one that's £144, or if you've done any pledge tier higher than that, we are committing to giving you all 48 alternative cards as well as your pledge. So if you're like me, I also pledged for the Rise of the Realm Runners box. You will get your entire 400 cards plus the 48 alt cards when they are printed. So you're going to get a lot of cards. Again, if there's any doubt about that, if you want to see any more, if I just bring this back up really quickly, don't forget that underneath the actual Kickstarter, there is a page here for updates, and you can see here that there is an update from Jack, which says exactly this. So look, I'll read it word for word. If you've pledged for the Rise of the Realm Runners or higher, you'll receive all 48 cards. Otherwise, each Achroma palette will have 4 alternative versions of the existing cards from that palette, guaranteed your pledge, making a total of 48 cards to collect. So yes. So let's talk about the alt cards for a moment, though. So firstly, it is amazing. Firstly, what's your opinion on these cards? I think they're really, now they are concepts, you know, there's no, you know, I appreciate the Serrano is from the animation. But actually, no, I have a question for you guys. Welcome in, Cool Reindeer. If you guys could choose, what alt art cards would you want to see? You know, you don't have to tell me what the alt card would look like, but what characters, locations, actions, what would you want to see? Idol says Materno. Yeah, loads of cards, Lisa. It's gonna be absolutely awesome. He could be pink and red. Oh, you want to get a custom for a Achroma Funguar? I personally want to see a Funguar, and we did do a poll in the Discord. So I will push the core team to push for a Funguar because I think people want it. David wants to see a Tengri. OC1 wants a Canute. Yeah, I'd like a Canute, would be cool. Joe wants our magical girl Civ to get a rework. I say rework, an alt art. Very nice. Yeah, I think the animation one looks cool. Heron, you want Bob? Yeah, we'll speak about Bob later in the stream. He is going to make a showing. Darth, you want a cultist den with an active ritual? Very cool. Okay, well, look. Dan says Hecknunker. Now, I want to be very clear here, folks. I am not going to make any promises. This is just an idea. But maybe we might end up running some form of competition or giveaway that maybe people could then choose which card they would like to see an alt art for. Can I get an X in chat if you would enter a giveaway if it meant that you could potentially choose which card you would get to do an alt art for? So just literally type the letter X in chat if you would enter that giveaway to get for a chance to choose a card to get an alt art for. Just to get a bit of a hands up sort of thing. Cool Reindeer, welcome in. I need to learn a lot more about the game more, but off the top of my head, I'm going to say the legendary flying dragon from Draco set that looks like Eternus from Pokemon. Is that, are you talking about Tengri, the one that like spirals, the blue one? He's very, very cool. But yeah, welcome in, Reindeer. I appreciate you got into Achroma only a few days ago at the store with us, right? I'm really glad you got into it, and I hope you have been having fun. If you have any questions in the meantime, please don't hesitate to ask. Welcome in, Chris. Evil Klaus. Yes, just Klaus with the must. Oh, could we potentially have Santa Claus? Or can that be maybe a Christmas promo card? Santa Claus. All right, so we've got a lot of X's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, okay, so pretty much everybody in the stream right now, yeah? Okay, well, again, just to be very clear, folks, it's not a absolute fact. It's not a promise, but I will try my best to get a giveaway running so that you guys can pick some of the alt art cards, because I think that that'd be a nice way to give back to some of the community. Am I right? But yeah, awesome. Well, yeah, those alt art cards are looking fantastic. And the good news is every single one of you that's pledged and gotten one of those tiers with the stretch goals, you are going to get some, if not all, of the alt cards depending on your pledge. So very, very exciting. To be honest, all of them would be nice to get an alt card. You're absolutely right, Heron. Absolutely right. And maybe eventually most cards will. Who knows, as the game develops and evolves. Idol says Santa Evil Klaus von Ruthro is coming to town. Oh, yes, that'd be awesome. Krampus von Ruthro. Love it. But yeah, so that is the alt cards. And yeah, that is a bit of a update on the Kickstarter. Now, actually, whilst we're talking about the Kickstarter, again, as we're going through, folks, if you have any questions, let me know. But yesterday, there was the Kickstarter event. So this has now been and gone. So if you weren't there yesterday, unfortunately, you have missed it. But yesterday, we had loads of people down at the store to have the Kickstarter preview event. So what happened yesterday is we got to see some of the prototypes of the Realm Runners, Realm Relics, and some of the expansion cards. And people were encouraged to include them in their decks and play some games. Now, I'm not going to talk about it all now, because when we show the cards later, I'm going to explain to you guys some of the crazy combos that people had yesterday. It was brilliant. But it was a really, really fun event. Thank you to everybody that came. You know, we do these events quite regularly in the store, and we'll talk about a few of the other ones later. But yeah, it was really fun. And thank you to those that joined me in the Discord, because we also ran it in the Discord for a couple of hours. So it was nice to catch up with some of you guys there. But yeah, it was a really, really good event. Yeah, we'll talk in a minute when we show the sneak peeks. We're going to talk about some of the crazy combos that we had. Yeah, it was amazing day, wasn't it? Give me Yana, please. Oh, she was brilliant. Yes. Got Mutan, question mark? Yeah, I'm going to be telling people about that combo. It was insane. So what other news have we had this week? So firstly, can I get an X in chat if you were, let me just get the picture up, there we go. Was anybody at Beachhead today? Or yesterday, for that matter? Was anyone at Beachhead? Private says, I wish I could have come down, but I was playing in a tournament at Beachhead, had a chat with the Achroma folks. Oh, well, there we go. You were at Beachhead. Oh, that's awesome. How did your tournament go, Private? Presumably it wasn't a Achroma tournament. What was it? Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic the Gathering, Warhammer. How did it go? Did you win? Cooper, amazing. Chris was there. But yeah, Chris, feel free to put something in the stream if you have anything to add. But from what I heard, I unfortunately wasn't there. But from what I heard, it went really well. It sounds like it was really busy. There was loads of games being played. And sounds like lots of new members of the community. I've noticed in the Discord, a lot of people have joined. So if you are one of those that have found the game from Beachhead, welcome into the community. May I be the first person to welcome you into it. It's lovely to have you all here. And just genuinely, I think, when events like these happen, not only is it nice for those current community members to go and get to meet some of the team and play some games against the team, it's just nice because with every one of these events, we get more and more people in this amazing community. So yeah. Star Wars Legion came 5th. Oh, I've played Legion. It's very, very cool. Well, congratulations coming 5th, because that's still pretty good. Awesome, dude. But yeah, so thank you to everyone that went to the Beachhead event. And if you don't know where we are for events, if you haven't already seen, in our Discord, which is linked down below, there is a Discord channel in there called IRL events, in real life events, where we will be regularly updating that with where we're going to be. So if you do want to come and see the team and play some games against us and maybe pick up some more cards in person, where sometimes you do get a bit of a discount, then, please check out the IRL channel and, be sure to come see us at some of the events we go to. If it's not obvious, we almost certainly will be at, the Comic-Cons this year, the Games Expos, the big ones. But some of the small local ones, check on the website because we might be there. So yes, that was the Beachhead event. So the next bit of news I want to mention is something that I tend to mention this every few weeks, and this is stock levels. So I appreciate that we've got some new community members and some older ones here. So for those that don't know, the cards that are currently on sale in the shop and on the website, so this is separate to the Kickstarter, are the first edition collections of the First Chronicles. Now, for those who don't know, the first edition collections are limited edition, meaning once these sell out, you'll still be able to buy the Chronicles, but they'll be unlimited edition prints, which won't have the glossy effect, and they'll have a different code on the bottom, so you'll be able to tell that it's first edition or not. So I always like to keep you guys updated on how much stock is left, so that you know when is the right time to buy if you are potentially waiting. So currently, I've got the list here to my left. There are a total of 122 boxes of Curdle Hill left. Now, to be very clear, when I say boxes, I'm not talking the full 6 boxes. I'm talking 2-pack cards. So just single boxes of 2 decks. There is 122 remaining for Curdle. So not very many at all. If you haven't yet got the first edition Curdle, I'd recommend picking up soon. There are only 115 left of the Draco. Draco is still currently in the lead for being the most sold out. So yeah, only 115 boxes left of Draco. There are 504 boxes of Flutterby, which obviously is because it got released much later, not necessarily because it's less popular. There are 731 boxes of Wishwell left. And finally, there is 509 of the Dexter charity cards remaining. So all of those are available on the website now. The website is linked down below, and obviously they are in stock in the store as well. So again, if you are really, really a sucker for, I must have all of the first editions, then please make sure that you consider buying before they run out. Otherwise, you can still pick up the cards. They're always going to be available, but just as unlimited edition prints. It's really down to your personal preference. Okay, so that is the stock levels. My next bit of news for you folks is about Achroma Heroes. So Achroma Heroes, for those who don't know, is a second game mode for Achroma. So most of the new members of the community will know that when it comes to Achroma, you play with 30 cards, you start on 10 shards, you got to get up to 30 down to 0. There is another format of Achroma called Achroma Heroes. I won't go into depth about what it is, but if you go to our website, down link below, you can find a page called Formats, and you can see Achroma Heroes on there to see how to play. Now, the rules are basically the same. It's just that you play with a bigger deck, and rather than starting on 10 shards, you start on 15, and you got to go up to 40. And the way you deck build is much more chaotic as well. The biggest thing to mention about Heroes is that when you play Achroma Heroes, the hero that you choose to be your hero gives you an ability, which is a passive ability. Now, the reason we're bringing it up in the news today is that if you haven't seen, folks, the app has been updated and all of the hero ability, or say almost all of the Achroma Heroes abilities have been changed. The reason for this is that in recent rule-changing updates, we have made it so that protection is now different, poisonous is now different, you know, the fact the attack and deploy step are now the same. And making these changes to the rules has really upset the balance in Heroes. There were some abilities that were too powerful, there were some that were never being used. So essentially what's happened, folks, is a large majority of the Heroes abilities in the app have been updated. Now, I will say, very, very kindly, David H in the community has put a forum post under the Heroes forum in the Discord, which actually lists them all, and I'm pretty certain he did update those to the new one. So check that out if you need to. Yes, there is a change to them. So if you are looking to get into Achroma Heroes, or maybe you've already been making some decks, definitely check out some of the new abilities and start making some fun decks. Don't forget there is the entire Achroma Heroes section of the Discord, including a how-to-play section if you want to know any more. And then the last little bit of news I have for you folks is actually about the Achroma Community League. So what this is a community-based league, not an official one. It's actually run by myself. It's been running for the last few months, and I'm pleased to say that as of today, Season 1 has ended. So I just wanted to say a massive congratulations to A. Roberts in the Discord, who came in first place. Well done to you, mate. Well done. And second place was actually a three-way tie. It was between iCarpy in the Discord, Ben in the Discord, and Seb in the Discord. So we had a three-way game this evening in the Discord, and it was a brilliant game, really close, and it ended up being that iCarpy won. So iCarpy came second in the league. Congratulations, mate. And it was really, really close, but Seb came second in the game, so therefore he took third place. So Adam, iCarpy, and Seb, congratulations on your places in the Achroma Community League. The Season 2 of the Achroma Community League will be running, but I'm going to wait to start it until after the Kickstarter has finished and that sort of died down, just mainly for the workload on myself because I run it completely independently. So yes, keep an eye in the Discord and I will make sure it's nice and clear when that's going to be running in a few months. In about a month or so. And yeah, there'll be more prizes, more fun, and it'll be really good. So yeah, congratulations to those that won that. So there we go. That is the Achroma community news. If there's any questions on any of that, let me know. In the meantime, Idle just said, I just quickly nabbed myself a Dexter card and Fall of Flutterby. Good decision. Honestly, the Dexter card is just so much fun in the Draco realm. He just synergizes so perfectly. And Sarah said, I wasn't involved with the spending, honest. Bad influence, Sarah. So the next thing I want to go through is some of the upcoming events. Now, if you guys have been in the last few streams, then you've probably already seen these, but I'd just like to highlight that they are coming, so we'll only spend a few moments on these. So the next event happening in store is the Grand Tournament on Saturday, the 4th of March. So this is in the storeroom pool, so I appreciate not everyone can make it, but if you can make it down, it'll be £4 entry if you buy on the website now, or if you come on the day and you haven't already bought your ticket, it's £6 on the day. And then it'll be an Achroma tournament where, you know, you play that day and the winners of the tournament will obviously get some prizes in store. It'll be a lot of fun. And as it says there, there'll be a promo card for every player. That will not be one of the first pro promo cards. It's been confirmed that that is going to be a Grand Tournament specific like promo card, if that makes sense. It's going to be something new. So definitely going to be worth heading down there if you can. So yes, make sure you're there if you can come for that. I will be there, so hopefully I'll get to see some of you guys there as well. And then the event that is happening after that is the Curse of Curdle Hill special event. So I explained this last week on stream, so if you want to hear more details, you can go and watch that stream if needs be. So I'm just going to cover this in very short. But the event after that will be on the Saturday, 1st of April. It's the Curse of Curdle Hill special event. Again, everybody that attends will get a specific promo card. So it won't be a Curse of Curdle Hill promo card, not the current one. I believe it is going to be, again, a new one. And this one is going to be us playing games of Curdle to tie up the story of chapter 1 and seal the fate of the end of that story. It's a way that you guys can actually change the course of the lore. It's going to be really fun. As far as I'm aware, there will be options to play that online as well. So that's not just a case of, hey, if you can't come to the store, you won't be able to interact. With Dexter card, can I add it to my canvas deck, or do I have to remove my legendary as one per deck? So yes, as Idol was explained therefore, yes, Dexter is a legendary card, so it would replace whatever legendary is in your palette. But something to know, Dexter is a realm runner. What a realm runner is a character that can traverse across the realms. So actually, if you do get the Dexter card can actually go into any of your palettes. So even if you have a Curse of Curdle Hill palette, a Fall of Flutterby palette, a Warriors of Wishful palette, you can actually put Dexter in any of them. But I will say, most of the community will agree that he's best to put in the Draco Planum, because he has a really good synergy with dragons. What else have I meant to say? Dexter is legendary, yes. We'll see if Reading can drag me kick. I reckon I can. I reckon I can. Ticket is bought. Excited to flounder at the tourney. Hey, very nice. I'm looking forward to it too. I had to get the Dexter card as soon as I saw it. Oh, of course. It's you know, the fact it's for charity is lovely, but he's a brilliant card as well. So yeah, make sure you use him as it's a great way to you know make use of a great card and also support him in his memory. So yeah, thank you for buying that card. It's very, very kind of you. So yes, that is the Curdle Hill event. If you have any other questions, you can ask us in Discord. So going back to our schedule then, so that is the upcoming events. Now we get to the fun bit, the sneak peeks. So just to be very clear, this week's is a little bit less exciting if you've already been in the store yesterday, but for everybody else, it's very exciting. So what I'm about to show you folks is these are all of the realm runners and all of the realm relics. To be very clear, there are 8 new realm runners and there are 8 new realm relics. As I explained a moment ago, what we mean by Realm Runner, Realm Relic is these are cards that are realmless. So the Realm Runners are characters that can be built into any palette. Realm Relics are objects of power that can be built into any palette, regardless of realm. These are coming out with the Kickstarter. So again, sorry for the extra plug, guys, but if you haven't already, check out the Kickstarter down below. Because if you pledge for the expansion packs, either the full Rise of the Runner expansion packs or any of the individual boxes, you will get some Realm Runners and Realm Relics, so these cards might be in your pocket very soon. So let me show you each of the Realm Runners and Realm Relics. We will talk through them, and I'm going to tell you some of the amazing stories that we had happening yesterday in the store. You have 2 people forcing you to attend. Hey, what can you do, eh? Yeah, exactly. It's still fun. And as I'm showing you these cards, folks, please be reacting in the chat. Tell me what you think about them. You know, if you can start to think of any crazy combos, let me know. I want this discussion to happen. Might as well be called Exhausted Realm Runners because they're moving around so much. Yeah. Curry's second, I saw you the other day. Yes, I was in the store the other day. So hello. Good. Shame that I probably saw you as well. Obviously, I'm not gonna say I know you by your name because it's not like you introduced yourself when Curry was taken. But hopefully I got a chance to say hello to you or at least wave or something. But good to see you. So the first picture here then. So in no particular order. So in each of these pictures, there's a Realm Runner and a Realm Relic. So first things first, on the left-hand side there, we've got the Realm Runner called Haruto. Now, I will say now, I have not been told by the rest of the core team the correct pronunciation of these names. So I'm sorry. I'm really sorry if I mess up any of these names. So one thing to mention is that every single one of the Realm Runners is legendary. So going back to Cool Reindeer's question, with all of the Realm Runners, you would have to replace the current legendary in your palette with the Realm Runner. Another thing to notice as we go through, all of the Realm Runners are either 2 shards or 1 shard. They are all very, very weak in strength, but very powerful in their abilities. Brazingman, my loved. I tried to use this yesterday, but I didn't get a chance. So, Haruto, +1, 1 cost legendary. Once during your turn, you may spend 3 shards to erase a card from any canvas, which is insanely powerful. Let me read that again. Once per turn, or once during your turn, you can spend 3 shards to erase a card from a canvas. So provided you have shards in your shard bank, once a turn, you can just do 3 shards and just blip anything like Thanos out of existence. Very powerful. The only thing that would be tough with him is that you want to make sure that you give him a good object of power, or maybe make him protected, because obviously only being 1 shard, it'd be very easy for an opponent to get rid of him. I had a question about Okay, let me read out the card first, Idol, then I'll read your question. So, Brisingamen. Sounds like Bazinga. Well, maybe I'm saying it wrong. So, Cool Raider says, not gonna lie, bye-bye other legendaries. So, one thing I will mention, Cool, is that all of the Realm Runners are very powerful, very overpowered. But what makes them not too powerful, as in what makes them not like, oh, why would you not put this in your deck, is the fact that they are only 1 cost. You know, Haruto being only 1 shard means that you really need to play him with an object, or you need to play him with protection. Otherwise, someone will just attack him with anything and get rid of him quite quickly. So yes, this object of power then. So this is a Realm Relic. Now, something to mention is that all of the Realm Relics are rare cards. So none of them are legendaries, none of them are uncommons or commons. So this one is a +1, 2 strength, and characters can't attack the attached character, and all other characters must attack on their turn. So, yes, Idol, it means everybody. So if let's say I attach Brisingamen to Haruto, the card in front. What that would mean is that, firstly, nobody can attack Haruto. So actually, that would be a perfect pairing, because now no one can attack Haruto, so therefore, once per turn, you can do your 3 shards to erase without actually in fear of anyone attacking him. But the second bit of the ability is what I love. So all other characters must attack on their turn. So that is your characters and everybody else's. So if you had more characters on your canvas, a bit like how the card Rock has the thing where you have to attack, you have to attack your characters and everybody else's characters. On your turn, if you have a character and it's not wearing that object of power, everybody has to attack. Even if, by doing the attack, you're going to lose your character. Even if it's an absolute, hey, I've got a 2-shard character, you've got a 3-shard character, I have to attack. The only time that you wouldn't have to attack is if there are no characters to attack. If there was only Haruto and Brisingamen on the board, then obviously there's nothing to attack. So yes, if there's no attacks to be done, then clearly not. But provided there is a valid target, you have to attack. I imagine that in terms of what order you attack in is your choice. So if you had 5 characters and you've got 5 attacks you can make, you can attack in whatever order you want to. But a bit like Rock, you have to make that attack. Also, you could play an object of power onto your character before making that attack. Does that make sense? You know, in your main step, you could go, oh, I have to attack with my one cost imp. But actually, as I have to attack with him, I'll attack a prism sprayer to him, then attack. Make sense? So yes, very, very powerful 2 cards. Yesterday, did we have any stories of this one? Yes, actually. I think it was Hecate Joe that told me that he put Brisingamen into a deck, where was it? I wrote it down here. Into a deck with a Shield Wall. So for those that don't know, Shield Wall is an ability in Warriors of Wishwell where your characters have extra strength when being attacked themselves. So if you play Brisingamen into a deck with a Shield Wall, you're forcing people to attack you, and then they're forcing people to attack you with Shield Wall, so they're likely going to die. So you could have a really cheap, like, Cave Snail, but with 2 Shield Wall, and then someone has to attack it, and it's 4 strength. So yeah, very, very nasty combo. I like that one, Joe. Are you Viridian? Yes, I am Viridian in the Discord. The in brackets foul bit is because I actually used to be called Foul Play Gaming, but I've now left that name behind. So yes, I am Viridian in the Discord, but you can also call me Charlie. But yeah, feel free to always tag me and ask me any questions in the Discord. Not to speak for him, but yes, he is. Oh, I see. You're answering that. Thank you, Chris. So yes, that is Brisingamen. Very, very cool 2 cards. I would love to chat about them all day, but we've got a lot of cards to get through. So the next combination is Hisano and Semantry Stone. So again, just to be very clear here, folks, these are being paired together, but this isn't actually the pairings that you'll get in the expansion box. These are just randomly paired together for images. So just to be very clear, Hisano doesn't come with Semantry Stone. They are still going to be set between the different packs. Idol says, let's say you're in a 1v1 and the other person uses defensive position, for example, you can't attack. No, defensive position doesn't mean that you can't be attacked. Defensive position just means you have protection. You can attack a character that has protection, it's just that they are invulnerable to damage. So it'd be like your character's running into a brick wall. So if someone has protection, you still have to attack their characters. So the legendary here, Hisano. I had a great play of this yesterday. So Hisano is a 1-cost legendary. And as an action, so remember, action means that it only happens once as you deploy them. Erase all cards on all canvases except Hisano. So every single card on every single canvas, regardless of, well, I guess protection wouldn't, yeah, if something's protected, it wouldn't go. Yeah, every card on every canvas gets erased, and everybody has to discard their entire hand and draw 5 more. Now, I had a really good play with this yesterday. I was playing a 5-player game, actually, and I only had 2 cards in my hand, and there were 2 people I were playing with that, were playing with Vars Volataris in their deck, so they were purposely drawing loads of cards. So I played Hisano, that completely wipes the board, so everybody's characters and locations all in the dregs, and it meant that I was only throwing away 2 cards, but to draw 5, and the 2 players that were trying to play Vars Volataris had to discard all their cards. It was a brilliant play, if you don't mind me saying so myself. So yeah, Hisano was a really good board clear to be able to say, hey, you guys are getting out of control. No, start again. Now, Cemetery Stone as a relic. Yeah, as Cooper Amazing says in the stream, I wonder where we recognize that from. Genuinely, guys, if you haven't already, the highlighted video on our YouTube channel is the Achroma teaser cinematic. If you have not yet watched that, we previewed it on the stream last week. Please go ahead and watch it. It's had 11k views now on YouTube, which is insane, but go and watch it. It's just absolutely beautiful. And yes, the last scene in that animation is that stone with one of the other realm runners, I should add. So it's a 5-cost realm relic with steel 1. Again, this is an object of power, or realm relic, which is, you know, an advanced object of power. So it attaches to a character. It is 5 strength, which is very powerful for an object. Its ability is cool. On the turn that you deploy Cemetery Stone, you can't deploy any other cards. So let's just talk about that first bit. That means if you start your turn, let's say the first thing you do on your turn is play a Draco Fledgling. Because you've played that Draco Fledgling, you now cannot play the stone, even if it's in your hand. You can only play that card if it's the only card you play this turn. So it's a one-off card. Once you've played it, you then get an action. You get to find, so the keyword find means you go through your palette, so you get to pick up your deck and look through, and you get to find any card of your choice and deploy it for free. Pretty powerful. You know, let's say you've got a crazy, you know, let's say you've got a Tengri in your deck or a Tenebris in your deck, and you are desperate. You need your Tengri to be able to stop them from winning next turn or something like that. You could play Cemetery Stone, go and find that card and play it, and boom, you get the card you need. Very, very strong. And it's a 5-cost object of power. But being an object of power, it means that you do have to have a character already on your board that you can play it onto, because you can't just play that by itself, obviously. So yeah, very, very cool. I don't think we actually had anybody that I saw when I was playing my games yesterday use Cemetery Stone, as in get use out of it, but yeah, very cool. It is very clutch. It's kind of like a last-ditch attempt of, hey, yeah, it's basically Murky Mana, but better. You're absolutely right, Chris. And yeah, it's going to be really clutch for when you really need to find that one card, even if it's just getting a full palette or something like that. But yeah, very, very cool. So the next combo then are these two. These two, I use these two, I like these. So the first one, the legendary realm runner is called Hod. So Hod is a 2-cost realm runner, legendary again. Oh, yeah, Herod, use the stone to get Murky Mana, to get Occultist Den, to dig for Isadora. I want to see somebody do that. That would be incredible. Yes, Hod, as an action, when you play him down, you choose another player until Hod leaves your canvas. Whenever they gain shards, you gain the same amount. So this is really cool. So let's say you're playing in a 6-player game and you recognize, hey, this person is doing, you know, I think that person is about to play Copper Joss and a few full pallets. You can play Hod and choose that player. And if they then play all those cards, you gain the same amount. But the way to play Hod is don't choose a player that's on higher shards than you. Because let's say that Idol in the chat, let's say Idol was on 20 shards and I'm on 15 shards. I play Hod and choose Idol. Well, if Idol gains 10 shards and wins, I'm not going to overtake him. So I guess the play with Hod is that you purposely choose a player that is underneath you. So not like morally, underneath you in terms of shard count. You're beneath me because you didn't play Hod. You would choose someone that is lower shard count than you so that as they gain shard, they can't gain shards without pushing you higher. Very cool. And actually, I did have a play with this yesterday. I was playing with, I was playing over Discord in the Discord session with Iad in the Discord, and he did a really cool play where So the key thing with HOD is it says until HOD leaves your canvas. So what he did is he did a role reversal. So a role reversal was a card where you choose someone else's character and swap it with one of your own. So he took my HOD and he gave me I think it was a ravaged pixie. A ravaged one, sorry. But because HOD left my canvas, the ability ceased to exist. So HOD was just a 2-cost. It was actually quite a good play. Now, this Realm Relic, man, is insane. Are you ready for this, folks? It is 4 strength, Club of Dagda. It's a Realm Relic, so an object of power. The attached character can attack any number of times on their turn. It's essentially unlimited rage. You can attack unlimited times. I will mention here, folks, I just want to be really clear. I'm sure that Cooper Amazing can confirm for me, but I'm pretty certain these cards are still subject to change. These are still the it says at the bottom, prototype still subject to change. So be aware, the final cards might not be the exact wording. There might be some tweaks, but as it currently stands, it is how it is. So yeah, the attached character can attack any number of times on their turn. Plus, each time you attack with that character, you immediately gain +2. And on top of that, that Club of Dagda can only be erased if the attached character is erased. So let's say you had Club of Dagda on HOD in front of you there. You could make unlimited attacks, provided you had the shards to do so. So let's say that there's loads of 2-cost characters. Let's say the board is full of Draco Fledglings. The first attack would be against a Draco Fledgling. You would gain +2 shards, and Club of Dagda would now be down to 2 shards. You then attack another Fledgling. You would gain another 2 shards, and the Club of Dagda would now be down to 0 shards, but it doesn't get erased because of its ability. And then if you attacked a third time on a Fledgling, you'd gain another 2 shards, but now HOD would take 2 damage, and then it would be dead, if that makes sense. So it's unlimited attacks, provided you have the shard count. But I will say now, folks, as a bit of a top tip, if you manage to get protection onto that character, so if you put protection on the character that's wielding Dagda, that gives you unlimited attacks with no way of losing your character. Unless they're poisonous. Poisonous would do it. But yes, if you can protect your character with Club of Dagda, that is disgusting, because you can literally do unlimited attacks and not take any damage. Insane. So what do we see here? Morally beneath you? Oh, wow, that's inside the day. Yes, I did wipe the board of that. Yes, I managed to get a really good play of this, and I am going to be explaining that play later. The object of power, yes, just buff that. Club of Dagda on Snorre for 1 damage, free attack, or endorsing heroes deck 4 times. Oh, yeah, either of those would be great, Joe. Out of all the Realm Relics I can remember, this one was probably the tweak. This one will probably tweak the most. Maybe. Well, maybe we'll see. David says, playing this for prescribed rage attack locations. Yes, exactly, David. Exactly. Now we're talking. Now, you know what? This is a perfect opportunity. Actually, no. I'll show my screenshot after the cards. So yeah, very, very good few cards. I will mention, folks, that as we're going through this, feel free to in the Discord later. Jump in the canvas or the heroes chat and talk about these cards. The conversation doesn't have to end when the stream ends today about these cards. Once I finish stream, I am going to put all of these sneak peeks into the sneak peek channel of Discord. So if you want to see any of these images post-stream, go make sure you check out the sneak peek channel on the Discord. It'll all be in there. So the next two, do we have some good ones here? These two made some amazing plays yesterday. So Mutans as a legendary. Nightmares for Sarah. Sarah's going to have nightmares for this one. So he's a 2-cost Realm Reller. His ability... You deploy Mutans on somebody else's canvas. So you don't put it on your canvas, you put them on someone else's. Mutans cannot attack. So your opponent that now has this character can't attack with that character. Whilst Mutans is on your canvas, you are drained 2 shards when you draw a card. So if, let's say you're playing against somebody that is playing a Draco build. In fact, David, you just posted in the forums with a Vars Volataris heroes deck, right? So imagine if I played Mutans on your board here. Every time you get to draw a card, you're minusing 2 shards. And the only way to get rid of Mutans is for the player that owns Mutans to play an action that would erase him, because you can't attack your own characters. It's so cool. So a play that happened yesterday with this, and unfortunately I haven't got a screenshot, I'm just going to have to verbalize it for you guys, is we were playing a 4-player game, but the 2 players that were in contention were Sarah Jane, who's in the chat, and Adam Roberts, who I'm not sure if he's in the chat at the moment, but he's in the Discord, A Roberts. So Adam played Mutans onto Sarah's board. So Sarah was now draining 2 every time she drew. And she didn't have a card in her hand that was able to get rid of it. So she actually ended up having to draw about 4 or 5 times, losing loads of shards to do so. But eventually, you can't say it about laughing though. Eventually, she found a really good play. She played a card called Magnus Elite Investigation, which for those who don't know, it's a 5-cost action, which means that you get to claim somebody's location and then restrain a character underneath it. So Sarah claimed one of my locations, so she got a steal 1 location, and then restrained Mutans under that location. Because for those who don't know, a card that is restrained is effectively out of the game temporarily, so Mutans' effect doesn't then happen. So Sarah managed to successfully put Mutans in jail. But then what happened next? On Adam's next turn, he played Briskavi Rage, which is a Warriors of Wishwell card that allows you to, for 1 turn, attack locations. And Adam attacked the location that was restraining Mutans to free Mutans. So Mutans was back on Sarah's board, causing the same damage again. And Sarah managed to get rid of Mutans again, only for David. I keep calling David now, I'm getting names mixed up. Only for Adam to play. What was it that he played? He was able to dig for it. I can't remember what it was, but he was able to dig for Mutans, and oh, that's it. He played Magnus of Lakringi, dug for Mutans, and played him again. It was just a brilliant play. But yeah, what a fantastic legendary he is. He's going to be great for Achroma decks and a great counter for card draw decks. So Vast Volataris, he's coming for you. You'd cry, exactly, David. Yeah. So the Realm Relic on the other side then is a very, very powerful as one as well. I had some great fun with this. It's essentially like Briskavi Rage, as David said. So it is a 4-cost object of power. Again, it is rare. The attached character can attack locations. When a location is erased this way, you immediately gain the shards. So the character that is, if you attached, I mean, admittedly, these 2 wouldn't go together because you can't attack with Mutans. But let's say you attach Darwin to any other of your characters. On your turn, you can use that character to attack locations every single turn. Obviously, you probably want to put Darwin on someone that has rage or some way to attack multiple times. And yes, when you attack a location and you erase it, you gobble up all the shards. Very, very good. I'll show you a screenshot in a moment of how I used that, and it was very, very good. So it's kind of like a permanent Briskavi Rage on a character. Very cool. And 4 strength is just very strong. So we are halfway. We have got next Nimi and Golden Apple of Iris. Now, Nimi, we did actually reveal on stream the other day, so I will read through her, but I'm going to go through it a bit quicker because we have actually shown her on a previous stream. So she is 1-cost legendary. She has an action, which is you add up the total shards of all players, and then you get to redistribute them equally among all players, round down if needed. So to give you an example of what that means is, let's say there was me on 1 shard. Let's say there is Sarah on 10 shards. And let's say there is David on 29 shards. Let's say 28 shards for easy maths. Actually, no, let's say 29, actually, for example. So that's 1 plus 10 plus 29. That's a total of 40 shards. So you would then take those 40 shards and divide them equally by 3, which would end up, obviously, you have to round down. So that would end up being 12 each. No, sorry, that would be 13 shards each because it couldn't be 14. So Sarah would get to go up to 13. David would go from 29 to 13, and I would get to go from 1 to 13. So it basically evens the board. Really, really good legendary to play to if you are currently in a situation where someone's running away with shot. Again, I cry. I know, right, David? It's like they're making cards just to counter your decks. Am I right? Welcome in, Lewis. With Mutans, if somebody has no cards in hand during the draw trade step, they are forced to draw. If someone has no cards in hand during the draw trade phase, are they forced to draw? Yes. So, sorry. Good question. So if I bring, so if somebody has no cards during the draw trade step, I see. Yes. So if you start your turn, and this is actually regardless of Mutans, Lewis. So if you are starting your turn, you have Mutans on your board, you have no cards in hand, but you do have cards in your palette, you cannot skip your draw and trade step. You can't just say, I don't want to draw or trade. If you don't have a card in hand, you have to draw, yes. In the same way, because people have asked us before, if you get to the end of the game and you've got no cards in your palette, let's say you have 5 cards in hand and no cards in your palette, you have to trade at both the start and the end. You can't just skip your draw and trade step. So if you don't have any cards, you must draw. If you don't have any cards in your palette to draw, you must trade. So yes, that would be. Aries reference makes me very happy. Yeah. Exactly, leveling the playing field, Lisa. Chris says, we made these cards specifically to upset David H. David, if you want to start a support group, I'm more than welcome to start it with you. And then, yes, golden. So yeah, very cool legendary. Golden Apple of Iris. This one, I think, is very, very fun. Might not be the most powerful in the world, but it's fun, and I like fun. So it's a 5-cost object of power. So straight away, actually, before I explain, I've got a question. What happens if you've got nothing in hand or deck? Then you skip it. So if you hit a draw or trade step, Heron, and there's no cards in your hand and no cards in your deck, you cannot draw, you cannot trade, so therefore you go straight to your main step. You obviously can't deploy anything, so all you can do is attack with any cards on your board. You do the resolve step with any resolve that you've got on the board, and then you don't do the draw and trade. If you ever get to a point where you've got nothing in your hand, nothing on your canvas, and nothing in your deck, you have lost. You are out of the game. We need a support group for Mutans. So yes, Golden Apple of Eris, 5 strength object of power. The ability is during their turn, any player may pay the owner of this card 2 shards to attach it to a new character on their canvas. Now that might cause some confusion, so let me explain it with a verbal example. So let's say it's my turn first. Let's say I have Nemi on my board, and I spend 5 shards and attach the Golden Apple of Eris. And let's say I do an attack with it. Let's say I attack a fledgling, and I kill a fledgling. Goodbye, Mr. Fledgling. Let's say it is now, let's see, who haven't I spoken today? Let's say it's Lisa's turn. I'm just trying to include different names. Let's say Lisa's playing with me, and it's now Lisa's turn. On Lisa's turn, let's say that Lisa, I'm just going to pick a card for you. Let's say that you have a Drakon on your board. What you can do during your turn, Lisa, is you can spend 2 shards. So, sorry, you would pay me 2 shards. So you would go down 2 shards and I would go up 2 shards. You would take that relic and attach it to your Drakon. So you are taking my object of power. You could then use that to attack my Nemi and get rid of her. Now, it gets better. Let's say, right, who haven't I called on so far? Let's say Lewis. Let's say it's Lewis's turn next. Okay, let's say, Lewis, you have a cave snail on your board. During your turn, you can also pay 2 shards. Now, to be very clear, the 2 shards that you pay don't go to Lisa. It goes to who is the actual physical owner of that card. So you would pay me 2 shards, and you would take the apple from Lisa's, Drakon, onto your snail, and then you could attack with it. When it comes back round to my turn, I can also take it back, but I would be paying myself 2 shards. So effectively, the owner of the golden apple on your turn can always take it back for free. Obviously, if at any point the apple dies through any form of attack or ability, then it just goes into the original player's dregs. So it's really cool. You pay the owner 2 shards to borrow that object of power, and there's the owner has no choice. The owner can't say, no, I'm not taking that deal. Like, they just, you're effectively paying to steal the apple. It's not like a, hey, can I have it? Can I have it, please? It's, well, unless I'm wrong. Chris, let me know if I've read that wrong, but it's a case of, hey, I pay 2 shards, I'm taking that off you, not can I pay you 2 shards and have that off you. Can the owner take it back if they only have 1 or 2 shards left? Ooh, what a good question, Lewis. That's a question that I'm going to have to resort to Cooper Amazing for, because Cooper Amazing is kind of like the absolute top dog for making rules, as he's one of the managing directors for the game mechanics. I would imagine, it could go either way. I'd imagine no, because you're going to be minusing 2 shards to gain 2 shards. So maybe if you're actually only on 2 or 1 shards, maybe you can't do it. But I'll see if Chris is still in the stream. So the question is, Cooper, obviously, and I spoke about this in store with you the other day, didn't I? That with the golden apple, if I'm the owner, when it comes back round to my turn, I can pay myself 2 shards to get the apple, right? But if I'm currently only on 2 shards right now, does that mean I can't take the apple back? Because I can't minus 2 shards to gain 2 shards. Is that right? Or because it's technically free, because it's like I'm paying myself, can I just take it even if I was only on one shard? Also, the Warriors of Wishwell soundtrack has finished. So you know what? Someone did ask for it in stream. Let me put on the Draco soundtrack to keep listening. Where is Draco? There we go. We'll have some Draco. How about that? So correct, you'd have to, so okay, so even though that you are going to get the shards back, so even though you're minusing 2 just to get the 2 back, okay, good to know. If you don't have those 2 shards that you can spend, then no apple for you. I love that. That's such a funny way of saying it. Yeah, it's like playing hot potato. So yeah, very, very cool object of power. If you have any other questions about that, let me know. You can also gain shards by moving it between your own characters. I mean, you wouldn't gain shards for it, Joe, because when you would spend 2 to then gain 2. So you could, theoretically, oh yeah. Oh, is it once per turn? Oh, I have another question, Cooper. Joe might have just stumbled on a really good play here. Technically, can you do it unlimited times? So let's say that Joe had the apple. Could I spend 2 shards to get the apple onto my character, make an attack with that character, then pay Joe another 2 shards to move the apple to my next character to attack again? Albeit, you obviously have to be careful that the apple doesn't run out of shards, because obviously the shards don't replenish till the end of my turn. But technically, I guess I could pay Joe 2 to get the apple for the first attack, then pay another 2 to move it to the next character. And if you're the owner of the apple, you're technically paying nothing. You know, you're going down 2 to go up 2 to move it across your different characters. Are we right in saying that, Chris? Because it doesn't say once per turn. It says just during their turn. You can pay to move it as many times you want. There we go. Thank you, Jack, for clarifying. Well, Joe, you've just stumbled on a really damn good, really good play there. So yeah, that apple, again, going back to what I said when I introduced it, yes, this card is still a prototype. Again, cannot stress enough, folks. Anything could change about these cards. So maybe it will turn into once per turn. But guys, don't do that. I like that it can be it can be done that way because yeah, that's really cool. But yeah, you might have just stumbled on a great play there, Joe. Really cool. All right, so moving swiftly on to the next one. We've got 3 more images to go. So we've got another Realm Runner and Realm Relic. So this Realm Runner is called Fisto. Now, I've said this a couple of times yesterday, and I'm really hoping that Jack or Chris can confirm this for me. He is a magician. So I like to think that his name is based off the joke, feast your eyes on this. I don't know. Maybe, okay, I'll give myself a slap on the wrist for that one. So yes, 2 cost Realm Runner. He has an ability which is whenever a card is erased from your canvas, you immediately gain the shards and get to draw a card. So this might work quite well. David, if you're still in the stream, he is going to work great in your drawing build for Vast Volataris. He's essentially a much better version of things like Norso Totem or Cocoon Lantern. Basically, every single time one of your cards is gone, presumably including himself, you gain the shards and get to draw a card. Very, very cool. No, don't change the apple. I'll drive to slap you on the wrist and drive back for that one. Where's Rhea when we need her? She is in the stream, so maybe she'll come up and slap me. No, probably shouldn't do that. So then the Realm Relic we've got here, folks, is called Jamshid Orb, which I think I'm saying that correctly. This one was really powerful yesterday. This one may get changed, I don't know, but this one was genuinely, like, super powerful. There's no resolve on this one, and actually there's no resolve on Fisto either, for that matter. Jamshid Orb has protection. So first things first to know, for those that haven't really got a good knowledge of all the cards, this is the first ever card that I've seen where the object of power has protection. Normally, it's only the character that has protection. So that orb, and for those who don't know what the keyword protection means that a character, that object of power cannot be erased. It can be claimed, it can be restrained, it can be bounced, but it cannot be erased by somebody else's canvas. And the attached character that you give it to is protection. So if you attached Jamshid Orb to Fisto, both of them now can't be erased. Very, very strong. But again, no resolve. So even if you had that legendary and rare, you're not getting any shards back from it. You've just got a very strong combo. That is going to be... I can see that being one of the most meta cards being run into Heroes decks. What I read that name as can't be said in a polite company. Well, thank you for holding it back, Joe. I heard my name. What's happening? They wanted to just slap me for a very bad pun of feast your eyes on this, but we probably shouldn't. So next one then. Yeah, two good combos there. Got two more to show you, folks. First one is Ray, and as we said earlier, for those that haven't seen the really good animation, make sure you go check it out because Ray is the realm runner we see at the end holding the Simantry stone. So Ray he's kind of like a better Copper Joss. He costs 1. He cannot be attacked, so he can be erased, but he can't be attacked, and he has a natural +5. So he's definitely an easy card to understand in comparison to some of the other ones. But yeah, +5, can't be attacked. Very cool card. Love the artwork, though. Look at that beautiful sunset in the background. It's just brilliant. I want to know what realm that's in. Is that Chris or Jack? Do we know? Is that Terra Planum that he's standing in there? What's the law? A boy in the Democratic Republic of Congo working in the cobalt mines uncovers a relic that sends him hurling through the portal to another realm. That kind of sounds like what we see in the animation. So I'm imagining that's probably somewhere in the Republic of Congo. Copper Joss, but better, yeah. But yeah, and then the realm, so yeah, very cool realm runner. And then the realm relic we've got, that's not going in a Copper Joss deck. Well, it'd have to be a heroes deck, but yes. Mask of Mysterium, we had a go at this yesterday. It was really, really fun. So Mask of Mysterium is a 4-cost object of power. It's -1 in the resolve, and its ability is all other players must play with their cards revealed whilst in play. So basically all the other players have to have their cards on the table. So so we can all see each other's cards except for the person who owns the Mask of Mysterium. Yesterday, we were talking how it's a bit of a double-edged sword, all pun intended with the fact that it's not actually a sword. But, because yes, it's all well and good that you can see your opponent's cards, but it also means if you can see that your opponent has a Samir Smash or a Fireball or a Tenebris or something like that, you then get scared of, oh, I now can't play my good cards because they've got those good cards. So it almost becomes a bit of a deterrent, but it's a very, very fun. We had a few games where it came up yesterday and it genuinely made some really fun interactions. I had Mask of Mysterium on my canvas, and then I had role reversaled the character with it. So suddenly his hand got hidden and my hand got revealed. It was brilliant. Are the relics going to have text added to them saying that you can only have 1 per character? Ooh, Lewis. You're very smart. It's not going to have text on the card, but it is going to be a rule. I'm going to put I don't like normally not answering questions, but I'm going to put a pin in that because in 2 images time, I'm going to show you exactly why the answer is yes to what you've stated there. Well, in a way, I'm not sure if it's going to be on the cards, but it'll be in the rules. So the last one to show you here, folks, is Yana and Serpent's Ring. So Yana is a 1-cost legendary, and I know that Idol got loads of great use out of her yesterday. So she is a 1-cost, and her resolve is X is the number of shards on your canvas. So let's say that you had a Monastery Underside on your board, that's 4 shards. Let's say that on the same board you had your Tengri, that's 5 shards, that's now 9. Let's say you also had a Achroma Storehouse, so that's now 13 shards. And let's say you then got Yana. So Yana's resolve is +14. So Yana is, even though she is very, she's very weak, she's only 1 shard, if you play her when you've already got like 5, 6, 7 cards on your canvas where all those shards add up, she is a massive win condition. Again, she is going to cause some chaos in Achroma Heroes games when you've got a couple of her. Yeah, Yana is insane. Please nerf. I know, right, David? She is. And yesterday, what happened is Idol had a game where he was playing a Draco location build. So he played her, and I think he literally got that. You got +14, didn't you, Idol? It wasn't enough for him to win. I think he was on like 25 shards. On my turn, I erased Yana by attacking her, but on his turn, he played Draco Graveyard, threw 2 cards away, dug for Yana, replayed her, and won. It was absolutely insane. She's so powerful. Welcome in, Onith. If you could play Yana with the Serpent's Ring, you'd instantly win the game. Oh, okay, so to be very clear, so let's read Serpent's Ring first, Onith. So Serpent's Ring is a realm relic. It's 2 costs. When you deploy it, the attached character becomes another copy of another becomes a copy of another character on any canvas. It's another character. So if you play Serpent's Ring onto Yana, you can't make her a copy of another Yana, if that makes sense. So technically, no, you wouldn't be able to instantly win the game. So you couldn't, what you could do is play Yana, do your resolve to get the gain, and then play Serpent's Ring on her to change it to something else, but you wouldn't then be able to get the resolve of that card until your next turn because that card is already resolved. But yeah, so Serpent's Ring is effectively an object of power that's like Double Trouble. So you would attach it to a character and then it changes. But here's the thing that you got to think about. It's not just about changing your own card. So let's say you had a Imp on your board, a 1-cost Imp, not really worth very much. You could give your Imp the Serpent's Ring and change him into a copy of let's say your opponent has a Darnacusk. You can turn your Imp into a Darnacusk, which to be fair, wouldn't be that great, I guess, because you wouldn't have dragons on your board, but you get the gist. But it goes the opposite way. Don't forget, folks, that under the new rules, you can deploy an object of power onto other players. So let's say that, again, let's say that Idol has Yana on his board. Let's say that I don't have any way to remove Yana. Let's say she's got some protection. Maybe she's protected by protected by Materno, so I can't kill her anyway. What you could do is I can play Serpent's Ring onto somebody else's card and say, yeah, your Yana is now my Imp. Which is just crazy. My only question, and I'm going to ask this to Jack and Chris if they're in the stream still, is we did have this question in the store yesterday, but I don't think we got an answer. If you then remove the Serpent's Ring, does the character revert back to what they were before? Or do they still stay what they were? Because it says when deployed, the attached character becomes a copy, but then by that wording, it sounds like, well, if the ring leaves, presumably they're still a copy, because it's not a when attached, it's not a whilst attached, it's a... Yeah. I'd like to know the answer to that one, because I genuinely don't know. Is it permanent, or is it only whilst the ring is on them? The ability goes when the object goes. Lovely. Maybe the wording of that might need to be a bit clearer, to be like, whilst attached, the character becomes, or something like that. But I don't know. We'll figure it out. But yeah, good to know that so if you do get rid of the ring, you will get your character back. But yeah, how cool is that? So what have we got in chat? Dave, I love this quote from David. All previous runners equals I sleep. Yana, I wake, glowing eyes. Can we have the opposite of Yana at some point? A -X. Ooh, maybe a future realm run could be -X for number of shards. That would be pretty insane too. Hey, Semper, welcome in. Good to see you, buddy. Onith, I was thinking of turning Imp into Yana. Yeah. So if your opponent has Yana, you could play Serpent's Ring on your own Imp to get your own Yana, and then you could resolve and win. Who knows? Adam, you could do another Mutants. Now, again, under the rules of Heroics, so let's say that Adam, let's say that there is a Mutans on your canvas. I couldn't play a Serpent's Ring onto your Imp and say, that's another Mutans. Because then what would happen is you would have 2 copies of Mutan on your canvas. One of them would have to get erased. So you could do it, but it means that one of the Mutans would have to get erased anyway. Because again, there's still that rule of you can't have 2 of the same heroic character on your canvas. So we'll update the wording. Brilliant. Good to get that clarification. So yes, there we go. So those are the new Realm Runners and Realm Relics. Now, I just want you guys to oogle at a moment at the following picture. This was my canvas on my first ever game yesterday. So what I want to be very clear here, folks, is that it was actually, who was it? It was Lewis that kind of alluded to this. So until yesterday, they had been playtesting that you could add more than 1 Realm Relic to a character. But in my first game, I had this. So let me explain exactly what's in front of you. So Chiefess, where's my mouse? There you go. Chiefess Astrid of Lakaringi is a really strong legendary anyway. The first thing I did was I attached Jamship Orb to her. That meant that the orb had protection, which meant it can't be erased. That also now means that Astrid cannot be erased. I then attached to her Torstein's Gauntlet, which gives me +1 for each character and location, which is great. But Torstein's Gauntlet can only be erased if the attached character is erased. Well, guess what? Astrid can't be erased, so neither could Gauntlet. I then attached Club of Dagda, which meant the attached character can attack any number of times and get +2, and Dagda can only be erased if the character's erased. But Astrid can't be erased, so neither could Dagda. And then I attached Darwin, which allows me to attack locations and gain the shard. So effectively, on one of my turns, I had Astrid, who had unlimited attacks. Only one of my objects could actually take damage. Every time I attacked a location, I would gain the shards and +2. I won on that turn. So following that, it's been decided that again, this will be written into the rules when the Realm Runners and Realm Relics come out, that you will only be able to attach one Realm Relic to a single character. Again, to be very clear, folks, these rules could change before the Realm Runners come out. Everything is subject to change here that I'm saying, but currently the way they're playtesting it is that you can have multiple Realm Relics on your canvas, but they have to be attached to separate characters. Yes. Yeah, exactly. You know, that's the thing. Like, in that situation, that's still not impossible to beat, because you could claim her, you could restrain her, you could bounce her. You know, if you bounced Astrid, then suddenly all of those objects die. There are ways to counter such a thing. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, they have changed the rules for now. In a multiplayer, I see. Yes. Curry, I saw you with that mat yesterday. Yes, yeah. If you do, I am going to be in the store for the grand tournament, and I'll be there for the Curdle event. So please, if you are there, please come and say hello. I'd love to meet everybody in the community, because, you know, it's one of the reasons I like going down to the store, because I get to see you all. I'm not there regularly because I actually live 2 hours away, but I'm pretty much there for all of the events. So there we go. That was a very, very long sneak peek. So what we've just looked at there, folks, is all of the Realm Runners and all of the Realm Relics. Again, I can't stress enough that if you want to get some of these cards, then make sure you check out the Kickstarter, which is down in the link below, and you can get some of the expansion packs. They will be available after the Kickstarter has finished, obviously, but if you want to get those lovely first editions, they are there as well. What day is the grand tournament? It is the 4th of March. I have already showed it on stream, but just for you, I'm more than happy to quickly show it again. There we go. The tournament is on the 4th of March. You can get your tickets online right now for £4, or you can get them on day for £6. If you want to just come into the store and spectate or play your own games, then obviously it's free to come in. But if you want to play in the tournament, it's £4 in advance, £6 on the day, and anybody that does get involved in the tournament will get a promo card as well. I will be there, so hopefully I'll get to see you guys there. So the last bit of the stream then, folks, that we do is I always like to shine a bit of the light back on you, because all of the stream so far has been all about Achroma and what we're doing. Let's shine some light on the community, because we love the community that is behind this game. You guys literally fuel our passion with this. I have some fan art to show you, and I have some really cool deck builds to show you as well. So the first thing I want to show you is this. Yes, Bob is coming. Look at how cool this is, folks. So what we're looking at is Echo in the Discord and his daughter Freya on Saturday baked this really awesome Achroma cake. I don't know whether they ended up putting frosting or anything, but how cool is that? He has not updated us yet on how tasty it was. But yeah, very, very talented. If any of you get inspired to do some Achroma baking, please send us your photos in the fan art channel of the Discord, and we'd love to see them, because that is just really, really cool. And hopefully we'll get an update from Echo as to, yes, did it taste nice and full of life? I can't do it for my sister's birthday. Oh, sorry to that, buddy. Well, there is the Curdle Hill event as well, so maybe I'll see you there. If not, there'll always be more events in the store. And if I'm ever going to the store on a non-event day, I will let the Discord know in case you ever just want to come and say hello and play some games against me. Also, welcome to the stream, by the way, Pulse. I didn't actually say hello to you when you came in. So yes, that is the Achroma cake. Now we've got some fan art. So the first fan art I want to show you, let's start with this one. We're going to end with just Bob. So this one actually only went into the Discord a matter of a few minutes before the stream. So this is a really cool drawing that's been done by A. Roberts in the Discord. He only drew it this evening, and he's drawn a pixie with the Achroma Corruptor. I'll be honest, I'm really, really liking it. I love the kind of the long flowing jacket he's wearing. The knee-high boots. Really, really nailed the kind of the face of a pixie with the big, strong eyebrows and the ears. I think he's done a brilliant job, and I can't wait to see if he does anything further or draws any more. So yeah, well done to A. Roberts for this amazing pixie drawing with the Achroma Corruptor. Brilliant looking thing. Maybe that was inspired by the Achroma Corruptor that got played a few times today in the league games. But well done, Adam. And then there's Bob. You guys might be asking, well, who's Bob? Well, don't worry. It's just Bob. So this is a really, really cool character concept that Seb in our Discord came up with. He came up with it yesterday in the store, and he's then drawn us a example of the card. So let me give you a bit of an idea of this fan art card. So Bob is a character, very specifically, not heroic character. There's a reason for that. He is just Bob. He is a 1-cost legendary. And look at his ability, folks. When Bob attacks, the attacked character becomes an exact copy of Bob. And as it says in brackets there, Bobs cannot attack other Bobs. And the law at the bottom of the card is it's just Bob. So the ongoing inside joke in the Discord now is, don't worry guys, don't worry. It's just Bob. So if you see that in the Discord, that's what that means. But no, it's actually a really, really fun concept for a card. The idea that you could just, if you give Bob protection, so therefore he doesn't get erased by attacks. Let's say you put on him, imagine if you attach to Bob, what was it? The Jamshib Orb, the one that gives him protection. Essentially, every time you attack another character, that character becomes Bob. When someone attacks with that character, more Bobs. You're basically just gonna have a board full of Bobs. Now, it doesn't end there. By the way, well done, Seb. Really cool drawing, and what a fantastic character. I hope that Bob can sometime be a real card, because he's just awesome. But it doesn't end there. It gets better. How about this for I think this was a location that Seb also drew. Ready, folks? It's called just a camp. Don't worry, folks. It's just a camp. So it's a heroic location, +2 in the resolve. Love the coloring of this one. 6 cost. At the end of the last player's turn, all characters that are now Bob move to your canvas. So you are turning all the other characters into Bobs and then just recruiting them to your canvas. I feel like to tie it all off, Seb, I feel like you need to make an action, which is it costs like 2, and then you get like +3 for every Bob on your board. So the whole point is that you place Bob, you like change everybody into Bobs, recruit all the Bobs, and then almost do like a strength in numbers type card that then gives you a win for Bob. That would be such a funny but clever way to win a game. I love it. It's really, really cool concept, Seb. Well done, mate. I know Sarah said don't give him ideas, but keep having ideas like that, mate. That's what makes you a game designer one day, because that is blooming brilliant. Or an object of power, yes, that could work too. But yeah, very, very good. So yeah, we've had some great fan arts. Again, if any of you want to get creative, whether it's fan art, whether it's short stories, whether it's baking, doesn't matter if it's good or bad. There's no bad judging here. There is the fan art channel in the Discord. Please, please, please make some posts and get some stuff in there, because it's lovely to see what you guys come up with, whether it's original characters, because don't forget, folks, there is a TTRPG coming out, and we're going to be talking more about that next week in stream. And part of that TTRPG will be making up your own characters. So, get creative. For example, you guys know me as Viridian in the Discord. Viridian is my original character. I've got a card that's in the fan art for him. So yeah, make some characters, put them in the fan art. Pulsar says Bob's sign. Yeah, Bob's sign, or just a sign. When is Thanos being added? I mean, we already have Tortine's Gauntlet, which is basically his thing. Chris, I'm going to be just Bob. Yes. Oh, we should definitely, yes. When we make some one shots, or Seb, when you join a TTRPG one shot, as soon as I have the alpha version of the PDF, by the way, I'm going to be making some one shots and running with the community with them. Seb, you have to make a character in the RPG called Just Bob. That'd be hilarious. Whoever gets to make their own card, make it Bob and send to him. Oh, now that would be awesome. Why people always use my darn name for a character? Is your name Bob, Honeth? Is your real name Bob? But yes, okay, last bit of the community showcase, folks, is I always like to go through some of the deck builds. Oh, and I always like to say in the community bit, I always like to give you guys an update of the Discord. We are now up to 374 Discord members. That is a gain of 21 new people have joined our community since last Sunday. So if any of you, if anyone in the stream right now is one of those new 21 people, welcome into Achroma. It is a pleasure to have you. Yes, oh, fair enough. Well, there you go. Honeth, maybe one day there'll be a card that is just Bob, just for you. Normal, it's Dave for me. Brilliant. So yes, the last thing I want to do, folks, is I just like to show some deck builds. So if you guys ever have a deck build, or palette build, I should say, that you guys like, there is a section under the Canvas forum and Heroes forum to post them. And yeah, show us your palette builds and tell us about them. And I always like to showcase a couple of them on stream. I have 2 that I want to show today. The first one is a Canvas deck. The second one is a Heroes deck. So the Canvas deck I want to highlight today, oh, I'll need to zoom out a tiny bit so that you guys can see it properly, is... well, let me zoom out. Unfortunately, I should have prepared this image a little bit better. Sorry about that, folks. So this is an image from Hecate Joe in the Discord. He has created a Siege of Draco Temple palette for the Achroma canvas, so the standard game mode, using the Realm Runner Dexter Master of Dragons. Now, I'll be honest, I really like how he's designed this deck because we'll talk through it as we go through. He's got about 4 win conditions. So, firstly, Dexter and that rare card Materno. Chef's Kiss combo. Because Dexter gives protection to all dragons, and Materno gives protection to all characters with 2 or less. So between Dexter and Materno, they actually protect each other and all the other dragons on the canvas. That's a really strong combo. You also have that double Chroma Storehouse and Mirror Sanctum. So on the right-hand side, there's this card here, Chroma Storehouse. When you play this one, you get to choose a colored shard and gain 2 for every card on your canvas with that. So if you play Chroma Storehouse into Chroma Storehouse and then play Mirror Sanctum of Chroma Storehouse, you can get some insanely high resolve. You've also got Strength in Numbers. So you could play loads of dragons and then Strength in Numbers. And you've also got Vast Volataris and Mirror Sanctum combinations as well, albeit that won't be possible eventually in the future. Long story short, there is at least 3 or 4 ways in this deck to get to 30. You've got some strong control cards with Breath of Ice, Breath of Fire, Achroma Claw. You've got your dig ability with Draco Graveyards. You've got some quick bursts of shards with Chroma Overflow. Really, for a Chroma deck, there's not really much more you'd want to add. It's kind of like a jack of all trades deck for Chroma, and I really like it. I know that Hecate Joe played this today, actually, and done pretty well. I mean, Joe is in the stream. Oh, I know that deck. 2 games in, it did get a lot of heat in to keep it in check during the second game, but even with all the drains, control cards against it, and not being able to attack, it stayed relatively competitive. Well, there we go. So if you guys want to try out this deck, go and build it yourself. If you want to leave a comment, there is a forum post of Joe's palette, so be sure to go in there and give him some praise. And, you know, if you have any suggestions for him, you can type it in there as well. So yes, that is Joe's deck. Well done, mate. I'd love to see some tokens made for this game for cards like Throne Room, so you can easily show which color was selected whilst on the board. Yeah, that is a good idea, Lewis. The new dice could work as shard tokens. Oh, that's a really good point, Jack, actually. Yeah. So don't forget, folks, that going back to the Kickstarter, anybody that pledges on the Kickstarter at tier 1 or more, so that's the £18 or more, you will get a set of the TTRPG dice, because it's one of our stretch goals, even if you don't actually get the TTRPG. And actually, Jack's very true that those dice are 8-sided dice with one of each of the colors. So that's actually a perfect token that you could actually use for Throne Room. It's a really good thought process, actually. I like that. Lovely. So I've got one more deck I want to show off, and it's actually from David H in the Discord, and this is a Heroes deck. Again, I think I probably should have cropped this image a bit better, but you can see it. So as I mentioned earlier, folks, if you haven't seen the Heroes format, there is a channel in the Discord called How to Play Heroes. Effectively, it's 40 cards rather than 30, and you can have multiple legendaries and even 2 copies of the same one. So I've actually got a bit of a write-up of his deck here. Let me actually find it so I can read it directly from the horse's mouth, as it were, although I promise I'm not calling you a horse, David. I'm just using the phrase. Oh. Has my stream gone? Has it gone? Am I still here? You can hear me. It's okay. It's frozen, but you can hear me. Okay. Hopefully, it will kick back in. I'm really hoping it kicks back in. Let me know if the stream goes. But for now, imagine that I'm oh, I wonder if I change scenes, whether that will do anything. No, it doesn't. Okay, hopefully it won't go completely. But we can still talk through the deck in the meantime. Yeah, unfortunately, I can't turn... Oh, I might be able to turn my camera on and off. Let's see if that makes a difference. It may or may not update it. I think it's actually my Streamlabs that's had an issue, but as long as you guys can still hear me, that's okay for now, because we're just going to talk through the deck. So let me find where it was. So what David basically said with this one was it is a... Oh, no, wrong one. He chose Leaf as it's the hero that has an ability which adds an insane amount of consistency. So he gets to, each turn, pay 1 shard to find a 3-cost or less location. The aim of the deck is to try and trade multiple times a turn. So ideally trading the 5 and 6 cost, all the legendaries basically. If you manage to draw one of your power cards early, you can win by turn 2 or 3. Essentially, it's a massive traders deck with loads of control cards, with loads of 6 cost legendaries to trade. So yeah, insanely powerful. And as David said in his write-up, like, there's a very good chance you're going to win on turn 1, 2, or 3 with this. It's absolutely insanely powerful. So if you want to give this one a go, folks, go to the Heroes Forum channel and check it out, and make sure to give David some feedback in the stream. Okay, so, right. I have no idea. Yes, yeah, so that's the one thing with YouTube is if I restart the stream, it's a whole new link, so it's definitely not worth me restarting. All I will do is if I turn off my source and turn it back on again, out of interest, if I turn off that source, does that now go black for you guys under the Achroma Weekly? It'll be interesting to see. It might just be my camera that's frozen. Can you guys, does it now show the Achroma Weekly as black? Okay, so it's just my camera. It's just my camera, that's fine. So in which case, to be fair, it kind of, yeah, it's just my sources that are frozen. That's okay, that's okay. So in which case, can you guys now see the stream ending screen? There's the better question. Because to be fair, we actually were at the end. So it kind of, it's annoying that my camera froze, but at least it did at the end. Okay, perfect. So it's not the stream that's froze, it's just my camera. I will sort that out. Oh, it's overheated. I should have left my door open. This room has gotten so hot that my camera's gone, nah, it's time to shut down. Okay, so anyway, folks, sorry about that technical difficulty, but we are looking to end the stream now. So guys, thank you very, very much for being here today. Hey, Mira, welcome in. So thank you very much for watching. We've covered a lot of the news, which I will be doing a news article on the website midweek to cover it all again. If you want to see more of those sneak peeks, I'm going to be posting them all in the Discord, so you can have a look at them again. And I am going to be joining the table. I'll go table 2 in the Discord. If you guys want to come and join me in the Discord, we will discuss today's news and maybe play some games. If you haven't already, make sure to like this stream. And if you haven't already, go check out the Kickstarter, all of that jazz. All the links are down below. You know what it is. But folks, really appreciate you joining me today. I hope you have a fantastic start to next week. I've been Viridian, otherwise known as Charles. I'm your Achroma community coordinator. This has been the Achroma Weekly stream. I'll see you all in the Discord shortly. See ya. Goodbye. Stay wholesome.